Hello and welcome back. We are all set to start making our first Android application. So without further delaying, let's jump right in. Wait. What should our first app project be? Let's start with something simple but exciting. Okay. For our first app, we are going to be making a cool, text-to-speech converter app. If you type anything on this app, the app will convert your text to audio speech, and say it out loud. Pretty cool, right?
Hello. Welcome.
Let's get started then. We start off by opening the App Inventor website and logging in. If you have used this website before, for example after the initial walkthrough, in all likelihood you will be logged in already with your Gmail account. If not, then log in. On the dashboard page, we click on the Start New Project button on the top, to create the project for this app. Remember that, in case you have tried to create something before this project, then App Inventor will automatically open the last project. We are going to name this project as TalkToMe. Remember that no spaces are allowed in the name, so we will use underscores in the project name, so that it reads better. We name it, and then click OK. App Inventor directly take us to the Designer window. Remember the Designer window that we discussed earlier? This is where you create the graphical user interface, also popularly known as the GUI of the app. In other words, this is where you design and decide the look and feel of your app. Here, on the left, we get to choose various components like buttons, images, and text boxes. We also get to choose many functions such as text-to-speech, sensors, and GPS, and others, if you scroll down and check. Let's take a moment and think about what our app needs. As a first step, we definitely need a space to type in our text. For that, we are going to add a text box. This text box is where we get to type our text, for our app to convert it into the audio speech. The text box option is here in the middle on the left side of the screen. We click on the text box, hold the click, and then simply drag our mouse over to the viewer in the middle. We release the mouse here on the screen, and voila! Our text box has just appeared on the screen. Yes, it is that simple. You just click on something and then drag it to your viewer and release it. Next, what do we need? We have a text box, where the user types the text. We need a button next. This is our action button, which when clicked, will convert the text to audio speech, and then say it out loud. Okay, so we are going to add a button to our screen. To get the button on the screen, we are going to look for the button component on the left side here. It's right at the top, so it's easy to find. We will click and hold on the button in the palette. We drag it, and then drop the button on the screen. Simple, but effective. We now have a text box and a button on our screen. We have the essential visual elements for our app. Now, let's modify our text box and our button. We click on the text box and we see all these options that are available on the right side, under Properties. We want the text box to be as wide as the screen, and we have the option to do that here. We select Width, and we choose Fill Parent. This makes the text box as wide as the screen, as the text box's width becomes the same as the parent, that is, the screen width. Now, let's increase the height of our text box a little bit as well. We need to make sure that even if the user wants to write something a little longer, there should be enough space available to write. Once the text is written, we should be able to see the entire text as well. So a bigger text box is good for our app interface. Yes, this looks nice. Next, let's modify the button. Once again on the right side of the screen, under the Properties panel, we can make all the changes we want to our button. Let's begin by changing the text on the button. Under the text property, we select Text for button 1, delete the text there, and let's type in Talk to Me. Notice that the text on our app's button, on the screen in the middle, changes right away. Next, let's change the width of the button, so that it's larger and more prominent on the screen. We are going to make the button as wide as the screen, so we select the option, Fill Parent for the button's width as well. We can change the font, or the shape, or the color, whatever we want to change. Feel free to add in some elements and personalize your button, as you would like it. For now, let's change the color of the button to red, so that it stands out on the screen. At this point in time, you should not just be watching, but creating and developing your app along with me. If you have just been watching and not keeping pace, then I suggest you pause the video here, follow the steps that we just went over, so that you are at the same stage where we are with our app. I am just going to hang for a bit, till you catch up with me. You're back. Good to see you. I hope you are at the same stage, as we are on the screen right now. Okay then. Now we are going to add the text-to-speech component to our app. This is the component which determines how the app works and what its functions are. As you can imagine, this one's pretty important. Let's scroll down and look for the media drawer in the palette. Here it is. We click on it, and the various options under media are available to us. The text-to-speech component is a little lower down in the list. Once we spot it, we will click on it, hold the click, drag it to our screen and drop it. Where did that go? Even though we have dropped it on the screen, the text-to-speech component is not visible on the screen. What happened to it? If we scroll down and look below the viewer, we can see that the text-to-speech component is present under the non-visible components. This is because this text-to-speech component is something that will not show up on the app's user interface. It is something that exists and performs its function in the background, but the app screen does not show this component. These components are like a tool that is available to the app for performing its functions. Now that we have the basics of our app in place, we are going to move over to the blocks editor. Last chance here for you. If you have been ignoring me and just watching this video, go to your App Inventor and follow the steps that we have done till now. Go back and watch it again, if you have to. Trust me, it's better that you keep pace as we go along, instead of trying to do it all at the end like a champ. Go on, catch up with us. Great to see you back. We are now going to switch over to the blocks editor. The blocks editor is available on the right top hand corner of the screen. Let's click on the blocks button there. It's time to tell our app what it needs to do. The blocks editor, as we had discussed earlier, is where we program the behavior of the app. Don't worry, although I say programming, it's actually really simple. Like we did with our user interface, we are going to drag and drop various blocks to complete the programming as well. As we look around the blocks editor, we can see that on the left side here, there are built-in blocks that handle various things like control, logic, math, text, and others. Below that are the blocks that go with each of the components that we have added to our app. In order to see the blocks available for a certain component, we first need to add that component to our app in the designer. Only once the component is added on the designer screen, do the relevant programming blocks for that component show up in the blocks editor. As you can see on the left side, below the built-in option we have the Screen 1 drawer. Within the Screen 1 drawer, we have the Button 1 component. We click on Button 1 here, and the options for our program blocks pop up here in the middle. Let's look for the block which says, When Button 1. Click to Event. There it is. We click on it, hold the click, drag the block over to the viewer and drop it there. Let's first understand what this coding block means. This block says, When Button 1 click, do something, which is blank. This means, then when Button 1 is clicked, a certain event will happen. The specified event on clicking the button is not yet known or present in the block, but we can see that there is a puzzle-like space for that event. We also understand that this block will launch when the button on our app is clicked. An event block such as this is known as an event handler. Next we need to program the text-to-speech action. After all, we still haven't told App Inventor what is the action to be done when that button is clicked. We click on the text-to-speech component at the bottom left of the screen. Amongst these available options, we are looking for the block which says, Call text-to-speech 1.speak. Let's click and drag the block over to the viewer in the middle and drop it there. This is the block of code that will make the phone speak. You would have noticed that the coding blocks have these puzzle-like grids. These help the blocks to fit seamlessly into one another. We will drag it and place it inside the first coding block, When Button 1. Click do. So now we have a longer piece of code. These two blocks together are saying that when Button 1 is clicked, a certain action will happen. That certain action is called text-to-speak, speak message. Which means that the text-to-speech function will be enabled, and the message will be converted to audio and played out aloud. But what is the message that will be played aloud? We still don't have that here, and that is the last piece of block that we need. For the last piece of code, we go to the text box component under Screen 1 drawer. After all, the text which needs to be converted to speech is in the text box. This last block will specify what is the text that will be converted to the audio speech. We are looking for the block which says, textbox1.text. When we find it, we click on it, and drag the block to the viewer in the middle. Once we have it in the middle, We will drag it to the other blocks of code and plug it into the socket labeled message. This makes sense now, right? The last piece of the puzzle that was missing is this. This tells the app that the text in the text box is the text that needs to be converted to the audio speech. That's all the coding that we need for our first app. Last thing to remember is, because this action block is inside the button, when the button is clicked on the app screen, it will run and convert the text to speech. Just like magic. Congratulations! We have just finished making our app. Let's now try it out. Let us test our creation now. If you have an Android mobile phone with you, then click on the Build option on top of the page, and click on the first option which says App, and has the words, Provide QR code for .apk, in brackets. Now we wait, while the code is compiling. This might take a little while. Once the progress bar disappears, a barcode will appear. You need to scan this barcode with a barcode scanner on your Android mobile phone. Once you are done with scanning the barcode, you will be diverted to download your new application. If you have any troubles while downloading, check out the directions provided on the page alongside. Okay, we are all set to check how our app is working. Let us type something in the text box. Let's see. We type in, "Hey there," and click on the button.
Hey there.
Perfect. Let's try something again. Can I have a McDonald's burger with some fries, please?
Can I have a McDonald's burger with some fries, please?
Works quite well. If you are unable to speak anytime, but need to have a conversation with somebody, just use this app. You just type in what you want to say, and your app does the talking for you. Great stuff. Do not forget to share the app with your family and friends. After all, everyone should know how awesome you are.